Welcome to County Report This Week. I'm Sonia Burke. Thank you for joining us. Coming up in the next half hour, we'll take you on a tour in downtown Silver Spring and learn about some of the new businesses opening at Ellsworth Place. And later, we'll introduce you to a star running back who has set a Maryland state record for touchdowns in a single season. But we begin with the Montgomery County Council. This week, council members elected new officers, and they chose a 14-year council veteran for the job of president. Susan Kennedy reports.
I'd like to nominate our Council Vice President, Councilmember Nancy Florine.
Nominated by her colleague, Councilmember Craig Rice, this will be the second time Nancy Florine will serve as president of the council.
You know, when I think about a true public servant and what that means, you can look at Nancy's career and see that that's a shining example.
By her side as vice president will be Roger Berliner, who was nominated for the job by Councilmember Tom Hucker.
He's strategic. When he's not upstairs writing landmark legislation before this body himself, you might find him holding oversight hearings here into the challenges facing Metro or testifying in Annapolis for renewable energy legislation.
Those in favor of electing Nancy Florine council president will signify by raising their hands.
Council President Florine takes office with a keen eye on where the county is headed fiscally, which she sees as the biggest challenge the council has in the coming year.
Numbers aren't looking great for next year. The Consumer Price Index, which is the standard by which our charter is judged in terms of a charter limit on taxes, is less than 1%, which means that how much can the cost of government increase given what our residents are feeling and experiencing?
Also on her radar is boosting the county's image when it comes to attracting businesses. The newly formed Economic Development Corporation aligns the county with other jurisdictions like Fairfax and Howard counties. Both have economic development entities that are private, separate from government.
I applaud the county executive for moving in this direction, and of course we've embraced this wholeheartedly. We've appointed the new board. They're just starting to meet. They're starting to conduct their search for an executive director. So that should be up and running sometime this spring, I hope. And that sends an important message, just the fact that we've done that, that this is a priority in a way that it hasn't been previously.
This week, Executive Ike Leggett sat down for the taping of One-on-One, the monthly show where he details executive branch happenings. This episode takes a look at some of the 2015 accomplishments and challenges in county government. Lorna Virgili has more about the Year in Review show.
2015 has been challenging in many fronts. However, County Executive Ike Leggett describes this year's AAA bond rating and balanced budget as major accomplishments.
The ability to maintain and to provide the resources that are necessary and to balance these budgets and have sustainable budgets remain as a top accomplishment.
Leggett adds Governor Hogan's Purple Line approval as another accomplishment, even though the county will have to contribute about $40 million for construction. Moving into 2016, the relationship with the state will continue to be at the forefront. The executive hopes that Montgomery County would receive more state funding for two areas of concern.
When you look at the top two priorities for the county, they are basically educational, overall resources for operational needs, construction needs in education, and of course the transportation needs that we have in the county as well. Those are the top two priorities for Montgomery County in looking at the General Assembly.
Among other 2015 highlights are the signing of the Earned Sick Leave Act, the creation of an Economic Development Corporation to tackle the county's economic development agenda, the grand opening of the Silver Spring Library, where more than 4,000 residents showed up for the ribbon-cutting ceremony, and the opening of the Silver Spring Transit Center. As for 2016 goals,
I think for me the goal would be to make certain that Montgomery County is a model for how local government and people can work together and how we can ensure that we have a county that responds to our citizens, provides for the public safety, is properly well managed, and we get along very well, and that it is a model both here as well as what we do internationally, such as sister cities and everything else.
In Rockville, for County Report This Week, I'm Lorna Virgili.
You can find the elected leaders' letter on the County Council's website. Maryland Governor Larry Hogan issued a statement last month asking federal authorities to cease settling Syrian refugees in Maryland because of what he described as safety and security concerns.
In addition, as has already been widely reported, the Council unanimously with Mr. Leggett wrote to the U.S. Office of Refugee Resettlement, Mr. Robert Carey. He sent us a very nice response thanking us for our tone and our willingness to cooperate. It isn't really up to us as to whether refugees from the Middle East are relocated here, but if they choose Montgomery County as their home, we're very confident that refugees from the Middle East will find a welcoming home and a community that is a highly desirable place to live.
The Montgomery County State Delegation held a local bills hearing that stretched into the early morning hours at the County Council chambers this week, and that hearing was packed. In the crowd was Montgomery County Executive Ike Leggett, who testified about a couple of issues, including his opposition to legislation sponsored by some state lawmakers that could change the way the Department of Liquor Control operates in Montgomery County.
And what we will be doing for the convenience of some restaurants, for this idea of enhanced competition, would be to say to the rest of the taxpayers in Montgomery County, we're going to hit you with an average of $100 per household in order for someone to get a convenient shot of liquor that they can already get through the privatization efforts and the sales efforts that we've made already in previous legislation. There is no need for this. Look at all of the things that people are saying. Competition, makeup of the resources, the bond rating, the impact to schools, to roads, to quality of life, and all of the things that impact Montgomery County should say to you, this is not the right bill. This is not the right time. And I'm saying this from a person who, in fact, haven't pushed forward privatization in many other areas. But I will not do so in this area because it is irresponsible. It is not something that we should be doing. It will hurt all of us.
3 Montgomery County Council members and the chair of the planning board are asking Montgomery County Public Schools officials for more information about the system's plans to address future capacity needs in the Bethesda area. Councilmember George Leventhal talked about that request at his weekly briefing.
2 of my colleagues on the council, Mr. Berliner and Mr. Rice, and I, and the chairman of the planning board, Casey Anderson, are writing to the superintendent of schools, Larry Bowers, to request a more detailed plan than the 6-year capital budget offers for the Walter Johnson, Walt Whitman, and Bethesda Chevy Chase clusters. The council is taking up a number of land use plans that affect that area, including the Littonsville plan, the Westbard plan, and the downtown Bethesda plan. There's a significant land sale taking place, the WMAL property, and constituents in that part of the county are expressing a lot of concern about school capacity, and so we would like the school system to get into more detail about how it will address that in the long term.
You can find a copy of the letter on the County Council's website. Save the date. Montgomery County and Prince George's County residents can get in-person help to shop, select, and enroll in health coverage through the Maryland Health Connect Now event, which is scheduled for December 13th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. The event will be held here at the Executive Office Building, which is at 101 Monroe Street in Rockville. Health navigators and certified insurance brokers will be available to help you sign up for Medicaid and qualified health plans through the Maryland Health Connection, the state's online insurance exchange. You can find more information online at marylandhealthconnection.gov.
Coming up on County Report this week, a sneak peek at the newly renovated Ellsworth Place.
And the Office of Consumer Protection has a new consumer alert, and it's timely if you're shopping online this holiday season. Stay with us. County Report this week is coming right back.
In Montgomery County, we have a goal to reduce waste and recycle 70% of all waste by 2020. By recycling and reducing waste, we save natural resources and make our community even better. So recycle at home, work, school, everywhere, and keep recycling going. For more information, call the Montgomery County, Maryland Division of Solid Waste Services at 311 or visit montgomerycountymd.gov/recycling.
Keep it going.
Recycle more now.
Did you know there are more than 10,000 county government phone numbers? But there's only one number you need to remember for non-emergency calls, 311. MC311 is Montgomery County government's online telephone information system. Need information? Have a problem or complaint? Trying to locate a county government facility? Call 311. The call center is open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. The website is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Welcome back to County Report This Week. I'm Sonia Burke. There are some new businesses coming to Ellsworth Place in downtown Silver Spring. MyMC Media's Maureen Chowdhury joins us with more.
I'm in downtown Silver Spring getting a sneak peek of the newly renovated Ellsworth Place.
The shopping center formerly known as City Place Mall has been under renovation for nearly 18 months. Developers have revamped the mall and rebranded its name.
Because of the competition around us and the decline of the property overall over the years, we just thought it was an idea to come up with a fresh name, a fresh brand for the property. And we named the property Ellsworth Place because most of the customers are on Ellsworth Drive, which is immediately adjacent. We have 9 million people walking on the sidewalk on Ellsworth on an annual basis.
Dozens of retailers have leased space in the mall. TJ Maxx and a few stores have already opened shop, while Dave & Buster's and Forever 21 Red are scheduled to open next year.
There's a decided demographic in downtown Silver Spring. It's younger and it's educated and it's value oriented for the most part. And so we've tried to create a merchandising mix that really fills the need of the local shopping community.
Absolutely, we're excited about being here. This is going to be a fantastic area. Silver Spring brings a community. We're excited to become part of that community, to bring jobs, bring our exciting food and entertainment.
Shoppers are also excited about the new look and new stores.
I love it. I think it's awesome. It's more places to shop. TJ Maxx is here. I mean, you know, Michael's is coming. It'll be great.
I was just walking down here and I think they're great. They're looks very trendy and new, and I think it's a big change from what it was before, and it's great for the community.
It's a great place to bring my family on the weekends, and it's close to work. And Silver Spring is starting to look a lot better out here, so I'm looking forward to some of the new things I can do out here without going so far away, like going all the way downtown DC.
And in case you're wondering, Ellsworth Place is set to have an official opening in summer 2016. For County Report This Week, I'm Maureen Chowdhury.
The county's Office of Consumer Protection is warning consumers about giving to phony charities that claim to represent our local volunteer fire and rescue departments or our Montgomery County Career Firefighters Union. The Montgomery County Career Firefighters Union does solicit by phone, either asking that donations be mailed in or sending an accredited representative with identification to pick up the donation. However, fraudulent charities may contact residents soliciting contributions and purporting to represent local volunteers or career firefighters and paramedics. We suggest that you ask for written information about the charity, watch out for similar sounding names, be skeptical if someone thanks you for a pledge you don't remember making, refuse high pressure appeals, and avoid cash gifts. To report any scams, call the Office of Consumer Protection at 240-777-3636. If you're shopping online this holiday season, you do not want to miss the latest consumer alert from the Montgomery County Office of Consumer Protection.
Online shopping is growing by leaps and bounds. Amazon alone sold 5 billion items in 2014, and there are plenty of new online companies looking for your business. To make sure your shopping experience is safe and secure, we here at the Office of Consumer Protection offer these tips. First, know who you are dealing with. Confirm the online seller's physical address and phone number in case you have a question or problem. Read the seller's description carefully. If it's too good to be true, then it could be a fake or a scam. Factor shipping and handling into the cost. While deals are out there, sometimes they come with hefty fees. Check out return policies, refund policies, and delivery dates. Is there a return fee? What if the item gets damaged in delivery? Also, many sites offer delivery tracking options. This is a good thing. Pay by credit card. That way your transaction is protected by the Fair Credit Billing Act. Under this law, you can dispute charges under certain circumstances and withhold payment while the creditor investigates them. Keep records. Print out or save receipts online. Save emails. Be on the lookout for charges you did not incur. Don't tell all. No online shopping store needs your social security number, birth date, or financial information. When using the company's website to pay, look for indicators that the site is secure, like a URL that begins with HTTPS. And finally, use strong passwords and know that public Wi-Fi spots are often not secure. If you have a problem with an online purchase, please call or file a complaint with our office. You can reach us at montgomerycountymd.gov/consumer.
Coming up on County Report this week, we'll tell you about a summit at Damascus High School that covered a variety of engaging topics. And then we'll introduce you to the Damascus High School running back who has set the new Maryland state record for the number of touchdowns in a single season. Stay with us. County Report this week is coming right back.
Yeah, salad on Saturday, fruit on Friday, throw a ball Thursday. Water Wednesday, touch your toes Tuesday. Let's move Monday, swap us next Sunday.
60 minutes of physical activity a day and eating well can help get your child healthy. So keep them active and eating well every day. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov. That's letsmove.gov.
Welcome back to County Report this week. I'm Sonia Burke. Montgomery College students of any age have an opportunity to keep up with current events. One of those recent classes focused on the Ukraine. MCTV has our story.
Dr. John Triplett is a 73-year-old retired physician who worked with the State Department for 25 years. As you would imagine, he has lived and worked in a lot of countries. He enjoys keeping up with current events and has just finished a 4-session class that focused on Ukraine.
It's better to keep up with what's going on, so we better understand the world and the surrounding countries around that, and that helps us to understand our own politics of our own nation.
Former United States Ambassador to Ukraine, William Taylor, was the guest speaker of this session. He talked about the prospects for peace in Ukraine.
Students of whatever age should care about what's going on in the world, and they do. And they're interested in what's happening, and they're interested in talking to people who have actually been to other parts of the world. So I've been in Ukraine for 3 years, and I'm very glad to have the opportunity to talk.
Because Ukraine has often been in the spotlight, and it's such an important topic for the United States and Western Europe, Montgomery College's Lifelong Learning Institute offered the course Ukraine in the crossfire of conflict between East and West.
We wanted to bring it closer to our students and make it an in-depth course where each session was presented by a new speaker who discussed different dimensions of Ukraine, including history of Ukraine, also a conflict with Russia, as well as politics with the United States.
The Lifelong Learning Institute is a program for adults that offers a variety of learning opportunities in the areas of archaeology, world cultures, literature, music, and wellness.
Our instructors come from different areas based on a variety of courses that we offer. Most come from academic background, and others, they are experts in the field. So we try to bring the best of the best as our faculty members.
The majority of the students in the daytime courses are retirees who are well-educated and well-traveled. For more information about the Lifelong Learning Institute, visit the website. For County Report this week in Wheaton, I'm Danielle Stesky.
Damascus High School held a summit recently to discuss important social and emotional topics. MCPS TV has our story.
We wanted to do a series of presentations for the students that would kind of talk about issues that are outside of the typical things that we talk about in school.
Students from Damascus High School participated in a two-day event aimed at broadening their perspectives about a range of real-world issues.
Well, today at Damascus, we are hosting our first ever Youth Summit, which is bringing speakers in to talk with our students on a range of topics. We surveyed our students to find out what social emotional topics were of interest to them.
So I don't want to see this. I want to see this. Blah! Come right back. Ready?
More than 40 expert speakers traveled to the school to lead discussions and workshops about self-defense, the dangers of drug use, information about the new Samaritan Law, healthy relationships, eating disorders, cyberbullying, meditation, and mental health issues.
Today I was talking about depression. I started out by talking about some of the statistics regarding depression and its occurrence within our society, the nature of depression and how people experience it, and then I shared some of my own experiences in dealing with depression in the course of my life. And it's also something that we shouldn't feel uncomfortable talking about.
The Youth Summit was organized by the school's Student Government Association.
It's a wonderful opportunity to talk about some things that need to be talked about that aren't usually learned in traditional classrooms. I hope my fellow students take away some lesson that they can apply not only to their lives now, but to their lives forever.
How many high school football players do you know who have scored 50 touchdowns in a single season? Well, Damascus running back Jake Funk is one of them, and by doing so, he set a new Maryland state record. In an interview this week, he credited hard work for his success.
It meant a lot to me, seeing, hard work pay off. I've been told my whole life that hard work pays off, and, I've worked really hard, and, to break a record like that on my home field on my last game, it means the world to me. At first, I didn't really, it wasn't really on my mind. And then the announcer announced it during the game, and I got a round of applause from the stands, and it kind of sank in at that moment. And now it just it's just a big relief knowing that and it's very humbling to know that I broke the single season touchdown record.
Good news for library lovers in Montgomery County. Chevy Chase and Potomac libraries have expanded their hours. Both libraries are now open Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. and Friday and Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. The expanded hours, recommended by Councilmember Roger Berliner, were approved by the County Council in the fiscal year 2016 budget. You can find more information about what's happening at local libraries in Montgomery County by visiting the county's website. Coming up next on County Report this week, some of the world's best divers jump off the boards in Germantown. And we'll tell you about some holiday happenings in the city of Rockville. Don't go away. County Report this week is coming right back.
Hey, mister, down here. You illegally passed the stop school bus. I'm placing you in timeout. And this timeout means big fines, plus you really could have hurt somebody. That's why school buses are being equipped with video cameras to help kids like me stay safe. So respect the bus.
Be active, Montgomery. Woo! Be active. Montgomery, be active, Montgomery. Be active, Montgomery.
Welcome back to County Report this week. I'm Sonia Berg. The Montgomery County Department of Recreation hosted the East Meets West 2015 Dive Show at the Germantown Indoor Swim Center. The event featured 12 members from China's Guangdong Provincial Diving Team, and some of these talented divers may be Olympians someday. Watch this.
We're so proud. We have world-class teams, world-class facilities, and to host an event like this here can only happen in Montgomery County. It truly is an honor to host such a prolific and world-renowned dive team.
Great job.
These are world-class divers, and they need world-class facilities. Fortunately, the Montgomery County Rec Department has just amazing diving facilities. And so that gave us the opportunity. And then I had the good fortune to talk with Lee Kong Rong, who is the head diving coach at University of Miami of Ohio. And he mentioned that the Chinese team, there's a contingent of Chinese divers that come to the United States every year, and that they were interested in seeing the sites around Montgomery County, Washington, D.C., all of that good stuff. And so they might be interested in coming. So we got very excited about that and pursued that. And fortunately, it all worked out. And it sounds like from the conversations I've had today, they want to come back.
We invest a lot of resources in our recreational facilities here in Montgomery County, and there's no better example than our Germantown Aquatic Center. We've had national records broken here, we've hosted the U.S. Olympic dive team here, and now to have the Guangdong Provincial Dive Team really is a cherry on top and just shows the world that Montgomery County is very serious about our aquatics programming. And I'm so proud of our staff and all of the volunteers that made today possible and make all of these programs possible.
We can't thank the Montgomery County Rec Department enough for their help in putting this event on. It was such a pleasure to be able to host world-class divers in our facilities. Melanie and Carrie and Gabe and the whole crew, they really came together. Jeremy making everything happen here at the facility and making it work. It was just a pleasure.
So what are you doing for the holidays? Rock 11 Now's Kathy Dantzler joins us with some holiday happenings in the city of Rockville.
With the holiday season upon us, trying to figure out what to do with the family can be a bit challenging, but you can count on Rock 11 to give you some great ideas for holiday happenings around Rockville. Why not take some time to visit a part of Rockville history? Stop by one of the special holiday open houses at the Glenview Mansion. They're happening all December long, every Sunday from 1 to 4, and it's free. And if you want to really get into the holiday spirit, why not take in some shows at the F. Scott Fitzgerald Theater? From the always classic Nutcracker Ballet to the holiday concert with the Rockville Chorus, or how about welcoming the winter with Santa himself? Just head to our website at rockvillemd.gov/theater for all shows, dates, times, and prices. Looking for the perfect gift for someone? Then check out this year's Holiday Bazaar at the Rockville Senior Center. There, you can find just about everything from homemade gifts to baked goods. For more information on that, head to our website again at rockvillemd.gov/senior center. How about giving the gift that keeps on giving, like a Rockville Rewards card? A $25 card will get you discounts at 125 Rockville area businesses. Go to rockvillerewards.com right now to find out how you can get a card today. Finally, why not give to those who are less fortunate by donating in this year's Rockville Holiday Drive? The city is collecting canned goods, $20 Target or Giant gift cards, and unwrapped toys to pass out to needy families this holiday season. Take a part. Give from the heart. Head to rockvillemd.gov/holiday drive. For everyone here at County Report this week, I'm Kathy Dantzler. Happy holidays.
The winter issue of the Montgomery County Guide for Recreation and Parks is now available, and registration for upcoming programs and classes is well underway. The Winter Guide features hundreds of activities and programs, including sports, therapeutic recreation services, and active adult programming. Residents are encouraged to register early as many programs fill up quickly. You can find out more about the Winter Guide online at activemontgomery.org. With that, we close this edition of County Report This Week. Remember to like us on Facebook and to join us again at this time every week for a look at what's going on inside Montgomery County. We're going to leave you with some festive holiday scenes from the Lake Forest Mall in Gaithersburg. I'm Sonia Berg. Thank you for watching.